Hey guys, it's your girl Tower Crush back with another news brief, and today I will be discussing two topics, and that is Astroworld and DaBaby and them. If you would, please hit my subscribe button. It's right at the bottom. Thank you so very much. Getting right into it. Okay, so let me just say this. We're going to go with Astroworld first since it happened first. I send my sincerest condolences and sympathies to the families of those hurt, injured, and the friends of those hurt and injured, and trampled or murdered or whatever you want to call it, killed, succumbed to their injuries, everybody that was negatively impacted by that event. That's the first thing I want to say, especially the babies. Especially the little ones that were in the crowd that did not make it. Yes, that was very sad, and it is very sad. Two, I hope that as fans, we learn something from this situation, because at the end of the day, he's going to remain a multimillionaire. Whatever happens is probably going to go through whatever insurance he had. It's not going to really affect him, maybe his premiums, but I just feel like we have to learn from this. Like, we can't leave it to the artists to keep us safe. We have to learn how to assess a situation and decide that it's either good for us or not good for us. We can't assume that the powers that be that are in charge of the event are concerned about our well-being. I'm not talking about prior to Astroworld. I'm talking about moving forward, because we can't rewind what happened. So I'm just hoping that as individuals, parents, guardians, adults, like period, we just decide what's safe for us and what's not safe for us, and learn to assess a situation, for ourselves, instead of waiting for the fire department or anybody else to assess it for us. That's two. Now, let me get into Travis and why I loathe this man at this point. He is no victim of his circumstance. He is absolutely culpable and absolutely to blame. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, it's not his fault that the city officials approved the conditions of the event. The conditions of the event, if you did not know, they were expecting around 50,000 people. It's an outdoor event, and they had two water stations and very limited security. They know Travis very well. If it's my understanding that that's his hometown. So they know what his shows are like, and how he, his history of rages and of encouraging people to rush security, rush the stage and say, damn security. He loves that type of stuff. He lives for that type of stuff. And he knows that is very dangerous. And he does it every single show. This isn't the first show of his where people have gotten injured. And he continues. And for me, he's culpable because he tweeted that the show was sold out, but he was able to finagle more people in. What do you mean, get more people in? Don't quote me, but something to that effect. I'll find the tweet and I'll make sure it's in the video. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, what do you mean you're going to get more people in? That means that you don't care. You're worried about bottom line dollars, which I'm sure you're paid your fee regardless of who shows up. I don't understand how you can be so negligent and then not expect any type of backlash from it. You're standing on the stage while the crowd is chanting, "Stop the show," staring in a trance at people as they get hauled off in ambulances. And you're still performing. Somebody said, well, he didn't have the power to stop the show. He doesn't have control over his own body. He doesn't think that if he would have stopped the show or stopped performing, that he wouldn't have won in court, especially considering the outcome. Let's talk about it. What would have been the implications of him stopping the show? What, he's going to have to pay back his retainer? What? He would have got that back in court because people died. But he was not more concerned about the people that idolized him. His diehard fans, his hometown fans. He wasn't concerned with that. He was concerned with, contracts and commitments. And how was he supposed to know the people were dying? Like, how many people have to fall out? How many people have to chant, stop the show, before you stop the show, bruh? Like, I'm definitely with people being responsible for their own selves a little bit. Because prior to this, who's checking to see how many water stations is at a place when you go to an outdoor concert? That's not happening. But now we better start watching, because Live Nation, they say, is very, very known for understaffing shows and, not really having enough amenities for people. And I just, I just wonder how many porta potties they had for 50,000 people. Like, you should have it just as many water stations as you have porta potties. If you've got 100 porta potties, you should have 100 water stations. I'm just saying. So, in a lot of ways, he was very culpable. He was very much in control of himself. Nobody had a gun to his head making him to continue to perform. He could have stated his reservations and stopped his performance. Now, Kylie, his girl, she gonna get on the internet talking about, we didn't know what was going on, but honey, he was taking pictures of people being, hauled away in the ambulance and people dancing on the ambulance. You retweeting that type of stuff. Those type of videos that you, of course, delete. Because it's like, y'all didn't think there was nothing wrong with what was going on. Y'all was good with it. But 10 people have died. And that is not okay. So everybody's saying it's not his fault. He is culpable. He is absolutely culpable, because he can hear, just like we could hear, he could hear. He could have told his band to stop the music like he did a couple times, but he continued his show. Why would you continue the show? I guess he has a limit. Maybe he needs to see, 500 people fall out, because we got to think only 10 died, but there were hundreds injured. Hundreds passed out, trampled, kicked in the head, arms broken, all types of stuff. There were so many of them. So we can't really say that there was more than 10 people injured. There was absolutely more. Someone's calling my phone. I have to wait for it to stop ringing. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me. Go to voicemail, cousin. Go to voicemail, cousin. Go to voicemail, cousin. Go to voicemail, cousin. Thank you, cousin. Dang. Cousin was taking a long time, wasn't she? Okay, so that's pretty much where I am on the Astroworld situation. I just really feel like people need to stop calling him and telling him that he did nothing wrong when he did everything wrong. Yes, adults are definitely responsible for their own selves. They could have looked up the type of shows that he has. Everybody knows that we're in the middle of a pandemic, maybe the tail end. I don't know what part of the pandemic we're in, because I always wear my mask anyway. But, yes, we are responsible for ourselves to a certain extent. But these companies, if we don't learn anything else, we know that these companies do not care about our safety. They do not care about, anything but dollars. So sometimes it's okay to watch a concert on your computer. It's okay to pull it up on your TV screen on YouTube. It's okay to watch it that way. You don't have to be in the moment anymore, because it's just not safe. Okay, so moving right along. Here's where I'm going to lose some of you. I understand. And I don't really care, because that's not what I don't subscribe to matching opinions. Now, if my opinion matches yours, God bless you. Thank you so much. But it doesn't have to match yours. We are individuals. We come up from different places. We have different experiences. We learn different lessons. So here's where I am in this whole Jonathan Kirk, Danileigh situation. Now, firstly, she's not a victim. Okay, so I'll give a few of y'all time to leave the church, because I know this ain't the service that y'all want to hear. It's fine. It's fine, sister. We're gonna let them leave, okay? Okay. So in the Church of Reality, here it is. Danny is the worst representation of black women, in my opinion. And here's why I say this. I guess she's Dominican, which look up the history of the Dominican Republic and colorism in that country, and I'm gonna leave that at that. So she would be considered a white Dominican, resident because of her skin tone. And I guess she, I don't know what's going on with her hair, but yeah. Anyway, she's a beautiful girl, very much so. We all know that, but she said things in the past that gave me pause. Like there was some TikTok that she made maybe a year or two back where she's like describing herself, and then she says she's damn near perfect, or she's perfect, or something to that extent. And I don't like that type of vanity. And it seemed to me like she was reaching out. She was basically speaking to somebody that maybe had pause and wasn't really trying to cuff her. It seemed that's what it looked like to me. And I was like, okay, rah, girl power, great. But I don't really like that type of, bravado from women or men. And we all know that DaBaby has a relationship with his child's mother, Mimi. And we know that he goes back and forth between Mimi and Danny. And I guess has for a little while. But for a long time, he was in a relationship with Mimi, and I guess cheating on her with Danny, because Danny says that they were together for 3 years. She said, for 3 years, we have been together. Well, if that's the case, then how are you? It just doesn't make sense that they would have been together that entire time. Then I understand that you have situationships where you might have somebody that you jig with for a long time. Maybe y'all jig together for 6 months to a year. Heck, I done had people I jigged with for 2 years and they never met my kids. It was good for what it was good for. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I was that person's girlfriend, because there was no commitment. And at the end of the day, if there's no commitment, there's no commitment. Not having a baby with somebody is going to make them commit to you. No, you have to have that actual solid commitment. And what I noticed when they were arguing on the Instagram Live, she made a statement about, because he said, you were never my girlfriend. You was my side bitch. And she said, savage, oh my God, masterpiece? Okay, whatever. And I'm like, masterpiece? Is she citing masterpiece as her proof that she was his girlfriend? Has anybody heard the lyrics to Masterpiece? And I don't know how much cussing I can do on this here channel, but I'm going to go for it because don't nobody be watching my stuff anyway. The lyrics say, my little bitch is a masterpiece. I ain't even gotta be funny when I'm telling no jokes. She's still gonna laugh at me and still suck my dick when she's mad at me. That is sugar on shit, honey. That is not a love song. He's basically saying that you ain't got no brain to think for yourself. You gonna do what he say do. No matter how you feel on the inside, you mad at him, but you still gonna give him head because he want it. A master piece of ass, honey. Not a masterpiece that he puts on a shelf for everybody to see. A masterpiece of ass. That's what a masterpiece of ass does. She satisfies you at all costs. He's not saying a girlfriend. He said he'd buy you a purse and put a Glock in it. That means you're a bottom bitch. That's what that song is saying. It's not talking about his love for you, dummy. And you sitting there worried about Mimi so much. And I'm going to tell y'all, go and look at the history of colorism in the Dominican Republic before you come for me. Mimi's dark skin. Beautiful. With no makeup, she's beautiful. Gorgeous. Skin glows. He loves that woman. He ain't got it right in him. So he ain't about to be right to nobody all the way. But when it comes to Mimi, she's on a different level than everybody else. And that messes with Danny, because Danny is used to being the light-skinned pretty girl that gets her way. How dare it be a dark-skinned woman that she has to compete with over a dude and who is dark-skinned? How dare he not appreciate me? And I'm sorry. That's the attitude this little girl has. And I say little girl because that's the way she acts. Now, you say you've been around for 3 years, and we all know he ain't been broke up with Mimi that long. So how do you not see yourself as a side chick? He has other songs where he says, truth be told, you know, his baby mama the only one he gone off of. And she's probably going to be in the background somewhere until they both decide that they're ready to settle down for good. You just happen to be, you know, collateral damage because you stuck around longer than you should have. Now, if you really believe the words that you said about being almost perfect, you would have left him alone the first time he crossed you. The first time he went back to Mimi, the first time he slept with somebody else, you would have left him alone. Now, this is what I'm sick of when it comes to black women, because a lot of us are angry at DaBaby right now. We're angry at DaBaby, but we quick to holler black girl magic. Where's Danny's black girl magic? Is black men her kryptonite? What, does black girl magic end when our feelings get hurt? Do we then become damsel in distress? We got to be damsel in distress when we get our feelings hurt by black men. But other than that, we are black girl magic. Well, magic is saying, I deserve better and I'm not about to deal with your stuff. And 3 years ago, she should have been done with him long before she ever got pregnant with that child. But she had that child thinking she was going to keep that man, and it did not work. Now, here's where they are now. Is he still trying to sleep with her? 9 times out of 10, abso-freaking-lutely. She gonna suck his dick when she's mad at him. He said it himself. And she claimed the song, so we know he was talking about her. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on. We got to be smarter than that in this black women. I'm not giving her a pass. You knew he was a piece of shit 3 years ago. And when you try to hold on to a piece of shit, it slips between your fingers because you can't. And if you claim to be a good woman, then why would you subject yourself to that? Let's talk about what it is, and it's stigmatism. Just say he digmatized you, girl, but we're not going to sit here and make him, victimize you and drag him when we already knew who the fuck he was. We already knew who DaBaby was. He showed us through Mimi. What makes you thought you was different? Oh, because he thought he wanted a yellow bone. Made a whole song to taunt Mimi about being a yellow bone. The hell is a yellow bone? I thought a yellow bone was an Asian, but I could be wrong. Whatever. But, she made that whole song, and that's when I was like, ew. She stinks of colorism, and it's just, it's under my nose. And I'm like, makes me want to throw up, And it's a sad shame, because if she'd have taken her talents to somebody that would have appreciated her 3 years ago, she wouldn't be on the internet crying now. And what you got to do is you got to learn to read between the lines. He never told her DaBaby had to leave. He wanted her to leave. He wanted her to leave. And I've seen too many moments with DaBaby with his children. And you can tell by the way his children love on him that it is not just for the cameras. He is in his children's life. And his assistant was there when they had this argument. So, Danny, baby, you can go. He would have been just fine. DaBaby, she would have been with her beautiful self. Oh, my gosh. And I have a feeling, because he didn't want to get into Danny's family. Again, look at colorism in the Dominican Republic. That baby is chocolate. That is frowned upon in the Dominican Republic. I'm just saying. It's kind of crazy that Black people don't understand colorism and how the implications of it. They don't understand immaturity. We are lacking accountability. She is totally accountable for her own actions. Baby gonna be like 27 next month. What are you doing with a clown like this? When you claim that you are almost perfect, why would you be with such an imperfect person? And then blame him for being him. Listen, that's why my friends know, don't come to me until you're ready to hear the real, because I'm not going to focus on him. I ain't got nothing to do with his behavior, because he's going to do what he's going to do, sweetheart. What we have to focus on is how you handle his behavior. If he tramples you, do you stick around to be trampled again? Or do you get yourself up, dust yourself off and say, fuck you, I'm out? Because that's what a good woman that knows her worth does. She doesn't stick around to be trampled and trampled and trampled and trampled and then cry about it at the end. And see, what a lot of you ladies that are agreeing with her are doing are projecting your situations on her. Because you was done this way by a man. Because you know, no. If he tells you that he don't want to be with you, believe his ass the first time and don't go back. If you love yourself more than you love him, you wouldn't go back after the first time. And that's just the real. And that's all I subscribe to. I don't subscribe to, the common opinion. I don't subscribe to, what everybody else says. In my heart of hearts, you believe, and I'm not saying that I've always been this way. I always knew this. Did I always act on this? Absolutely not. But then I had to come away from this, and I never came out of the situation claiming somebody dogged me either. Because it takes two to dog. Nobody can dog you without your permission. They need your permission to dog you out. Absolutely they do. Because if they dog you once and you stop it, meaning you don't deal with that person and give that person an opportunity to hurt you again, then you didn't let them dog you. They hurt you one time and you got up and you walked away because you knew you deserved better. But I would tell all of my friends, you deserve what you accept. If you don't deserve it, do not accept it. They cuss me out about domestic violence situations all the time. And I always have the question, how did you get past the first beating? Because the first time you and I'm not saying a man's never hit me. I've been hit by men before. One time. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that they was able to hit me twice because I'm out. What I'm gonna stick around for? You didn't already show me everything else you said was bull. Once you put your hands on me, I know it's not love. And I don't care what anybody says, you have to be a very broken woman to stay with a man that beats on you. You had to come into the relationship broken. Meaning you had other shit that happened to you in your past that you didn't address and you just moved right along to the next relationship. If you don't stop and soul search and figure out what it is and why it is you allowed somebody to stay in your life and dog you for so long, why you agreed to that contract, then you're just going to replace one dog with the next. Okay, I ain't doing pit bulls no more, but come on, Cane Corso. Come on, Cane Corso. I want a Cane Corso this time. I ain't doing no pit bulls. They ain't for me. Come on, Cane Corso. Come on, baby. You got all this teeth? Okay. Come on, man. We got to get to the root of what is making us do these things. Why are we allowing these men to stay in our lives to hurt our souls? Screw him. POS in his own right. He doesn't claim to be anything other than that. So why you would think that he would be different with you, I don't know. But accountability is everything. And I am here to hold you accountable, Miss Danny. You saw him going back and forth to his baby mama, and you mentioned her on more than one occasion during that argument. Stop being obsessed with women you have nothing to do with. You have no control over that woman. You have no control over that man. A baby is not going to control him no more than your coochie was able to control him. He's going to do what he wants to do. Your thing is to hope that you find a man that wants to do you and nobody else. Because you can't make nobody do nothing. You can think you making them do it, but you only until you find out that they wasn't doing it. If it ain't what he want to do, that's not what he's going to do. Why waste your time with somebody trying to force them to? No, it's not going to work. And then you're going to look like Boo-Boo the Fool on the internet because everybody knows we done seen DaBaby with his family on many occasions in the last 3 years. And you talking about you've been messing with him that long, but you was his girlfriend. Why would you stay? Now DaBaby's here. Love DaBaby. Figure out what co-parenting looks like, given the circumstances, given that you love this man and he is not respecting you. He has never really respected you. He allowed you to post pictures when he was mad at Mimi only. And you went for it. I just don't understand, and I'm not dragging him. I'm not going to do it this time because she knew exactly what she was getting herself into. And I'm not going for black girl magic when it's convenient. Use your black girl magic and fly your ass on up out of there. That's what you do, Danny. We should have never heard about y'all's problems. Talking about you didn't want your baby on the internet. Why would you bring your problems to the internet? Why are you trying to drag him? His baby mama done already put it out there what kind of man he is, what you thought he was going to be different than you. And you were sadly mistaken. But I don't want to hear your crap because you already knew and you thought you was going to change him and it just didn't work. And I don't have no sympathy for people like that, especially those that think they better than somebody else because they yellow bone. Quote unquote. I don't subscribe to it and I'm not going for it. Nope. I don't care for the baby's antics when it comes to women, but that's not for me to worry about. I love his music. I don't care about what he's doing to these women because he ain't acting like he's something that he's not. If I was to meet DaBaby, I would not expect to be treated like a princess. I would not expect for him to be chivalrous with me. That's not what I would be looking for with him. I would expect for him to be swagged out every time I saw him. I would expect for his phone to be blowing up with bitches all day, every day. I would expect that I'm being penciled in as often as he can pencil me in because I've got good wop. But I would know exactly who I was to him. I would not look at myself as a wife because he's not in the husband mode. He is not in the mode of a husband that I would want. He will be good for what he will be good for. Anybody looking at DaBaby and seeing him as a viable husband that ain't Mimi is stupid. And Mimi ain't going to look at him like that until she knows he's ready. That's his soulmate. That's who he's probably going to wind up with. Loves her and she loves him. And that's why, Danny tried to post pictures and stuff. And she's like, you ain't got to post pictures with him when you with him all the time. That was a long time ago. Like, honey, how did you wind up pregnant? Because you thought you was going to win the battle. So, no, she don't get no, Sorry, Danny, baby. Put your big girl panties on. And now you a whole mother and figure out exactly, how you're going to co-parent in a healthy environment. You need to have your space. He needs to have his space. Y'all need to have mediators. Because y'all don't need to be together. It's not going to work. And it's embarrassing, and y'all child is gonna see that stuff at one point. So I don't subscribe to people who throw rocks and have their hands like a victim. You ain't no victim, honey. You thought you took him from somebody, and he's showing you over and over again that you ain't taking from nothing. You was a masterpiece of ass. That's it. But, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to become redundant. But y'all know exactly where I stand on this. I am not dogging DaBaby for being who he is. And I am not babying Danny for figuring it out again. For getting slapped again in the face. I'm not babying her. She's a grown woman. She will figure it out. And I hope she learns from it and learns that babies don't keep nobody. You ain't going to never be equal to a woman that this man is going to love forever. He's known her too long. They know each other. She knows Jonathan. You really know DaBaby. There's a big difference. Yeah, you might call him Jonathan, but you don't know Jonathan like Mimi knows Jonathan. Leave that alone. And it's just that on that, co-parent well so that your child can be acclimated with his children. And y'all can, get a healthy, you got time to show your daughter something healthy. She's already felt the turbulence in your belly. It's time to show her good energy. It's time to surround yourself with good energy, having people that actually add to your good energy, Danny. You don't need to keep putting yourself in a negative situation trying to prove yourself to somebody that you can never prove yourself to. Because it was never meant to be you, baby girl. It just wasn't. And that's just that on that. Again, if you have not, please hit my subscribe button. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, if I don't like the comments, if y'all trying to come for me, I'm just going to turn them off. I don't have time for that. This is my truth, and I'm not going to change my mind because it's popular. Danny needs to get it together and figure it out, because she knew what she was doing when she did it. And she thought it was cute until it wasn't. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. That's my $5.02. Peace.